They are business leaders, experts in economy, society, and culture. In 15 minutes, their insights will create a vivid picture of Vietnam. Sharing Vietnam, the country as you see it.
Hello and welcome to Sharing Vietnam, a daily program on NatViet channel VTC 10. I'm Phương Liên. We have known that building brands play an important role to every firm. So how can we build a successful brand as well as remain it? We'll give you some advice to our program today. Joining us today is Mr. Chris Elkin, Managing Director of Brand in Vietnam. He will share experience about building brand in Vietnam. So Mr. Elkin, it's really nice to meet you on our VTC Time program today. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Phương Liên. Nice to be here.
So before continuing our talk show, let's take a break. And here's a clip for the audience to know more about our guest today.
Mr. Chris Elkin, Managing Director of RAP, comes from Ireland, has been living in Vietnam for 6 years. Hobby taking photos.
And we have seen from the clip that you are taking photos here. So is it one of your hobbies?
It is. I keep a website
Oh, really?
under my own name. I love a sense of adventure and exploring that I find my life has taken in Vietnam. So it's a way of me recording and remembering all the good times and the nice people and great places I meet in Vietnam.
Yes, can you share about the name of this website for everyone can access?
Sure, it's just my name, chriselkin.com.
Yes, really. I just tried to access this website to view some beautiful photos. So I was very impressive with the name of your business, Red, right? Yes, so could you explain a bit about this name to the audience?
Sure. The company Red Brand Builders was started around 7 or 8 years ago now, and our name is inspired by the colour of prosperity, passion and love. And ultimately we build brands with passion to help our clients create love between their brands, their products and their customers in a way that's different from their competitors.
And we have known that in building brands area, the name of the brand is very important. So what do you think about that?
Look, people understand brands by colours, by shapes, by graphics, and by written words and names. So the brand name is one of the first things a customer would either hear or read to understand what a brand offers. Brands, the strongest brands in the world are those brands that actually have an emotional connection whenever you say the brand name.
Yes.
So it's very important to pick a brand name that makes you feel something. People shop with both their head, but actually it's their heart that they make their decision by on whether they'll purchase a brand or not. So when choosing a name, it should be distinctive to make it stand out from the competition, but also seek to make someone have the right feeling that you want them to have on an emotional level about your brand.
Yes. So you are the Managing Director of Brand in Vietnam. So could you share a bit about the activities of this business?
Sure. In Vietnam, especially since the joining of the World Trade Organization in 2007, there's been a big increase in the number of brands coming into Vietnam to do business, and also an increase in the number of Vietnamese brands looking to either improve what they currently do or to enter into the market themselves. So in summary, there's a lot more competition in the Vietnamese marketplace now by even comparison to just a few years ago. So the way companies can compete is by building a brand to help them form this personality and this emotional connection with their customers that makes them stand out from the competition. So that's really what differentiating what you do from your competition is very much at the heart of what branding is all about. And a brand built with the right process, I believe, can actually be the most important reason why a customer will choose your brand or your product, and over time it can grow to be the most valuable asset that your company can actually own. At Red, brand builders, we have a process which we call building brands with impact.
Yes.
And this process is all about leading your customers, your brand customers, from the right first impression to leading them to action, to actually recommend the brand to their families and their friends, and over time build love with the brand. So at the heart of what we recommend is a process that has 3 key steps. One is making contact and understanding who you are trying to appeal to with your brand, so it's segmenting the target audience. We look at what your competition is doing and what they're offering, and with this we then move on to step 2, which is reacting to what we've learned about our customers and about our competitors. We look to create a brand positioning or brand personality that appeals to those specific target audiences and makes us different from the competition. We then move on to step 3, which is about attracting.
Yes.
So it's about promoting the brand personality.
So thank you for your information about
Thank you.
Red in Vietnam.
Okay.
So now let's take a break. And here's the clip about Red in Vietnam.
Red is an independent branding and marketing agency which has offices in Vietnam and Australia. Red cooperates with clients in the Asia-Pacific region. It offers in-depth branding and marketing services including brand creation, strategies, identities, advertising, experience, packaging, and digitals.
So we are back to the story of building brands with Mr. Elkin from Red in Vietnam. So we know that building brand is such a really long process. It's not a work or a day or a month, right?
Sure.
Yes.
The way I see brand building, it's a little bit like a marriage of the head and the heart between the brand and your customer. And if you look at a brand as though it's a personality, it's the same way almost we see ourselves. We always need to find new ways to refresh our friendships, to sustain and build our marriages over our lifetime for happiness. And it's very similar to a brand. It's an ongoing, organic, continuous process where you're constantly connecting with your customers, trying to understand how they're growing, how they're developing, looking at new competition that may be entering into your market, and reacting again to that, and then attracting those target audiences that you're wanting to appeal to in new ways to stay current and relevant, and ultimately, as you said, over that long period of time, build a strong connection, a love between the target audience and your brand.
So one thing I just think that is as important as to build a brand is remain this brand. So how can we do to remain the brand after building it?
Well, I see it as more of an ongoing process, and it's brands always evolve. If you look back in history at some of the strongest brands like Apple or Coca-Cola,
Yes.
These brands have not stayed the same. If you look at their advertising back in, say, the 1980s
Yes.
until now, you see it stayed current. You see there's been huge changes in people initially buying a computer for an Apple Macintosh
Yes.
to now where they buy iPads or they engage with each other or different brands or communications over the internet with their iPhone.
Yes.
So what the customers have needed and their expectations of what they want, desire, need and love in life constantly change. So brands always have to stay up to date and current and understanding that, and of course change their brand personality and their different service and product offerings to remain appealing and again different from their competition.
Yes. So Mr. Elkin, let's take another break. And here's a clip of activity of building brands in Vietnam.
Building brand is the first step and also the most difficult step of the process of marketing planning. However, this step is of great importance in order to create a public image of firms. To be successful in branding, you have to understand the needs as well as the desire of customer. Building a brand is considered vital to achieve client trust. It can be said that in the era of knowledge economy, human resources, information and brands are the three significant assets but do not appear in the table of sales of each company.
So Mr. Elkin, we have seen the clip about the activity of building brand in Vietnam. So one problem nowadays about the what we call fake, such as the fake products or fake brands.
Yeah.
So how can we face with this fake and solve it?
I understand. It is a large problem in Vietnam. I think it can be solved in two key ways. One is the top-down approach from the government and advocating law enforcement to reduce the number of counterfeit products that actually come into Vietnam. So that has improved since the World Trade Organization rules came into place, and there's much stronger intellectual property protection now in place. So every brand I would recommend needs to engage with the authorities to make sure that they have their brands properly protected with the right intellectual property management. The other side to this coin is also consumers.
Yes.
If consumers are careful in their brand choice, being careful not to buy fake products, then over a period of time there's no market for the fake products, so there'll be less reason for people to keep on trying to illegally bring counterfeit products into Vietnam.
So about your business in Vietnam, Red business, what are your upcoming plans in the near future?
Sure.
Can you share a bit?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Look, for us again, it's a very interesting market to be in business in. It's very dynamic. The economy is growing. The population are very young. There's lots of people who will need to buy products and brands over the years to come. So for us, we see the future as requiring stronger brands on which to help companies to differentiate themselves, to compete more strongly against new competitors, and to keep appealing to those customers they really want to go to. So we'll be focusing a lot in creating great brand strategy. So we're really thinking about why a brand exists and what it can offer.
So we have just mentioned a lot about the building brands, about Red Vietnam. So what about your personal plans in the near future?
Look, there's many reasons why I'm in Vietnam. My love of Asia 11 years ago brought me to Southeast Asia. I've lived and worked in Vietnam for 6 years. It's been a great adventure. I personally think that the country has a lot to offer foreigners who live here. I've made many good friends here in Vietnam. I've fallen in love in Vietnam. I have a long-term girlfriend here in Vietnam. And on a business level, I see there's a lot of interesting opportunities to really help both local brands build themselves up, and also help international brands understand and connect with the local audience here in Vietnam too.
Yes. So Mr. Elkin, thank you very much for your time today and for your interesting story about building brand in Vietnam.
Thank you.
Thank you. And that concludes our show for today. Thank you for watching Sharing Vietnam from NetViet channel VTC10. I'm Phương Liên. So leave for today and see you tomorrow.